Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. This is episode 3 of my franchise mode series with the Montreal Canadiens, and today we finish up the sim on season 1, but not before making some moves to strengthen our chances as we presumably head into the postseason. We have 32 games to go. We are currently in first place in the division, even if the Bruins win the game at hand that they have. We have a 4-point lead on them, so things are looking good at the moment. The big question was, what do we do about John Tavares? Now, John Tavares is on the trading block. He is presumably still a UFA heading into the next offseason. Now, there is no guarantee that he will make it to free agency. For all we know, they could have already re-signed him mid-season, and it just hasn't updated the fact that he's signed, or they'll end up working out a deal. I mean, as far as contract renewals go, there is nothing in the activity feed at the moment, but it could have happened really early on in the season. So we're going to keep an eye on the Tavares situation, because I know a lot of people are thinking, if I trade for John Tavares, that I guess in a way ruins the integrity of the season, of the series, and even the season, because it's getting someone high caliber like John Tavares, even though we would have to give up a lot to get him, as I stated in the last episode. So what I want to do really quick is keep an eye out on where the Islanders are. And they are just outside the playoff structure. Now, they're 3 points behind New Jersey, and New Jersey has 3 games in hand. So the Islanders are in a pretty rough spot, but throughout the month of February, they could easily turn it around and get back into one of the 2 wildcard spots. So as far as Tavares goes, we are going to wait it out, and we're going to see if the Islanders end up truly outside of the playoff structure. And if they do, that is when we will pounce on the opportunity to trade for John Tavares, if we can even afford to. There's no guarantee that it could happen. The other team I wanted to look at was in the Central. That would be the St. Louis Blues. They have Jay Bouwmeester, and they are thoroughly outside of the playoff structure as it stands. 9 points back of Colorado, who have 3 games in hand, and they're in a wild card spot. So the Blues are absolutely out of it. So I think right now, at the very least, what we are going to do is jump at the opportunity to improve our defense. And then as we approach the trade deadline at the end of the month, we'll see if there is anybody else worth getting. Connor Hellebuck is on the block, too. That is a little bit surprising. But again, for a defenseman, it came down to Jay Bouwmeester and Alex Edler. And it is a tough choice. It is a tough choice. 2 years left for Jay Bouwmeester, and with Alex Edler on his current deal, I'm pretty sure it's 2 years regardless. It is 2 years regardless, and we are going to look for some cap retention regardless. But 29 wins for Vancouver. They're in a much better spot than the Blues. That is why we are going after Jay Bouwmeester, and he will pretty much immediately go to the top pairing with Shea Weber, which will be a nice little improvement. We are going to look for 50% cap retention. And I say nice little improvement. He is the same overall as Carl Alzner, but if another defenseman shows up on the trade block that we can end up getting, I'm not going to be afraid to bring in 2 other defensemen. I mean, right now, our top 4 is a little bit weak. I mean, Weber, Alzner, Petrie, and Bouwmeester looks better than having Ben or Schlemko in that top 6. But again, if someone else decides to show up, I'm not afraid to bump Alzner down to the 3rd pairing. And, hopefully we can keep him happy with penalty kill time. So let's take a look at how we are possibly going to be able to acquire Jay Bouwmeester here. And to be honest, I'm not really sure how that's going to happen or who I want to give up to try and make it happen. Of course, we have Ryan Poehling there. Low top 6, you could argue, is a little bit low for him, but again, I didn't want to be too cheap and give us this incredible prospect, even though he is an incredible prospect. But still, I mean, you look at Charlie Hudon, he has developed well throughout this season, so that is the big thing, too, is seeing how well low potentials end up developing throughout this series in the new game. So let's take a look here. Who could we possibly give up? I mean, sending Hemsky over might not be the worst idea. And then defensively, I mean, giving up on Josh Brook would, God, that would suck. But that's the type of deal you'd really have to make. You got to give up a younger defensive prospect to get the better player now. He does have more value than a Cale Fleury or a Scott Walford, despite the fact that, I mean, you could say the potentials are about even. I mean, low top 4, medium top 6. Brook does have that little bit of extra potential to, maybe do some damage at the NHL level. I think Cale Fleury might be the guy. Actually, he's a little bit better than Walford. Walford's only a 56 at 19 years old, whereas Brook is a 56 at 18 years old. So, can they take more than one contract? They can. So, Hemsky and Walford, and then obviously we'll throw a draft pick in there, and that might work. Although, just for shits and giggles, will that go through now? No, it won't. Okay. You never know. I mean, obviously, Bouwmeester's value is a little bit higher than it appears because of the cap retention. But we do have second-round picks to work with. We have Washington's and we have Chicago's. So that's looking good. I'm going to try to give up a third, and we'll see what they think. I'm sure I'm going to have to give up a second-rounder, which isn't the end of the world. We'll give up our own. And let's go with, say, a fifth-round pick as a safety net, just in case that goes through. I'm good with the deal. They are not. What if we swap that out with a sixth-round pick? Or are they willing to accept that? Is it much closer? And apparently it is not. How about straight up? Still no. It looks fair, but they're not willing to retain the salary cap. Right. So that's a bit of an issue because we cannot afford to take on the full cap for Jay Bouwmeester. We can't. What if I drop that to, say, 45%? And I'm going to go with a fourth and a sixth, just to kind of balance it out. Will that go through? No, it won't. How about just a fourth rounder? Still no. We'll try a fifth and a seventh instead. It is very likely here that we're not going to end up with Jay Bouwmeester at this time because, again, we're not going to sit here and take on a ton of salary from Jay Bouwmeester. Let's go 40%. I'm still willing to give up the second rounder in this instance. What if we go a fourth and a sixth? What did they say to that now? Still no? Just the fourth? Still no. All right. We'll get this to work itself out. Maybe. Fifth and a seventh? Again, I'm going to keep alternating. Still not interested in the deal. How about just a fifth? Oh, St. Louis. St. Louis. Let's not be difficult here now. Still not interested. Straight up. How about that? Still rejected. They just flat out don't want to retain salary. But it's like you have to realize the situation you are in, St. Louis. I'm not going lower than 30%. So there are two more offers here. And if they're not willing to accept, then it's over. So I'm going to drop this to 30%. If they're not willing to take that deal, I'm out. I'm out. All right, so we will not be getting Jay Bouwmeester at this time. We'll sim a little bit further into the month of February. That'll bring us closer to the trade deadline, and we'll take it from there. But I am not going to make a bad decision when it comes to who we're trading for just out of necessity. I'm not going to make a very rash decision as we lose to Carolina, beat Anaheim, but then lost to Ottawa as well. And let's see here. You know what? Here we'll go to the 15th. We'll sim 2 weeks beyond where we were initially having discussions there. And Thomas Plekanec has broken his nose. He's out until February 23rd. So that is unfortunate. But we should be able to survive that. We do have Hemsky, and now, of course, we can just play Drouin at center. So let's go best lines. Let's go with best lines. We'll have Chucky, as he's known. I'm still going to call him Galchenyuk, or Galch. Obviously, I'm going to call him Galchenyuk. That's the name. I'm going to call him Galch just to piss people off. But no, Galchenyuk. There we go. I'll just say his full name from now on. Well, let's see. What else can we do here? Let's go with Pacioretty, Galchenyuk, and Gallagher. Maybe? I mean, he and Drouin are equal as far as Oh, as far as defense goes, but we'll go Galchenyuk, Pacioretty, Yager, Drouin, Deneau, and Gallagher. That looks good. Third line, we'll have Hudon, Lehkonen, and Hemsky. And then the fourth line will be Byron, Shaw, and McCarron. So we'll give Hemsky a bit of an improved role. And then again, the PK, we are going to have to... it's funny, wow, it puts Mike McCarron there, but we are going to have to put Paul Byron in the lineup there. And of course, the AHL is still good. We didn't call anybody. Yep. All right. So let's move forward to the 15th, although we do have to edit the scouting really quick. Where did we last scout? Right. Now, see, I can already tell with my with the strategy we employed, we are going to run out of time, of course, to be able to, get a ton of feedback. Let's see here. We have reached the 15th. Let's go ahead and see if any moves have been made. To be honest, I aimed to sim to the end of the season. This might just be a trade deadline episode, depending on how long it takes. So let's take a look. Have there been any moves made? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there have been moves made. Good Lord. Buffalo acquired a first-round pick, a third-round pick all next year, and defenseman Ben Betker from Edmonton for Evander Kane. Evander Kane off to Edmonton. Buffalo, again, still wheeling and dealing. They acquired a fifth-round pick from St. Louis for Josephson and a seventh. Winnipeg acquired Scotty Upshaw for Brendan Lemieux and a fifth. Alexei Emlin off to Carolina for a third-round pick and prospect Warren Fogele, I don't know. But those are the moves so far. The biggest name on the move is Evander Kane. I tried to clear my throat as I was just repeating the same word over and over again. Didn't quite happen. You know what? Swig of, not Arnold Palmer, not H2O, swig of ginger ale. Because as you might tell, tad bit under the weather today, but damn it, we have to keep moving forward in this series. Now, I am going to take a look at the trading block again. Damn. You ever have that feeling where you just can't clear your throat and you should just stop talking and edit the video, but you refuse to? Because, not necessarily out of laziness, but again, God, I keep going to the wrong spot. I just keep meaning to go to trade players. When you're a bit under the weather, editing videos doesn't sound like a whole hell of a lot of fun. Proposed trade, there we go. Third time is the charm. What are we dealing with here as far as potential trades? Max Jones would be nice, but that's not what we're looking for. Arizona with Hjalmarsson on the block, 2 years left. They also signed Jerome Iginla. Hjalmarsson wouldn't be a bad option. Obviously a bit more expensive than a Bouwmeester at this point. Who do we have from Buffalo, who are apparently fire selling here? Let's see. Pominville, Georges, no thank you. Benoit Pouliot, again, might not be like the worst pickup in the world. He is down to a 77, though, so never mind. He definitely would be. Colorado, Wilson, Como, Soderberg. What else do we got? Detroit with Nyquist and Nielsen. No thank you again. Nyquist, maybe not the worst pickup in the world, but I don't want to take time away from Lehkonen or Hudon. Who else do we have? New Jersey. I was going to say New Jersey again, but people don't like when I say New Jersey. New Jersey. The New Jersey Devils. I'll call them New Jersey when they command respect, and with a 27-21-8 record, I'm not yet afraid of the Devils. In before we lose to the Devils in the playoffs. Scott Hartnell's up on the block. No thank you. Nashville looking to get rid of a lot of spare parts. Tavares is still there, as is Calvin DeHaan. 29, 23, and 6 record for the Islanders. So we will still keep our eye on that situation. Kyle Turris is on the block now, too. Expiring contract. And then again, Dion Phaneuf is there. But no thank you. The Philadelphia Flyers getting rid of Filppula. So right now, Tavares is still definitely the main target, we'll say, but not the main need that we need to improve. We need that help on defense. Yannick Hansen's there, Paul Martin, Joe Thornton. Oh, Joe Thornton. I mean, it would be impossible. I I mean, actually, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be impossible. We technically have the cap space to bring Joe Thornton here. And he would be a cheaper rental than, say, John Tavares, in case the worst-case scenario happened and we weren't able to re-sign Tavares. Stastny is on the block. Bouwmeester is still there. And the Blues are still pretty bad. Marleau, Komarov still there for Toronto. Edler's still there for Vancouver, but they have a pretty decent record, honestly. All right, so again, as far as the names go, Bouwmeester still up there. Maybe St. Louis is a little bit more willing to take that deal. You could argue Joe Thornton, and you could argue John Tavares. But at the very least, I'm going to try to go after Jay Bouwmeester again. Yes, Hjalmarsson is now also a defensive option, but Bouwmeester's a little bit more of a cheaper rental. And that's what we're looking for. He has 2 years on his deal. And I'd rather go for... I mean, granted, I think Hjalmarsson also had 2 years on his deal. It's the value that I'm worried about, though. Because if we go after Tavares, we're going to need, say, even a Ikonen, Bitten. I mean, obviously someone like Lehkonen and a Sherbak would be involved in that deal. So... it would be a little bit tough, but let's see. Who did I even have in this deal the first time? I'm completely blanking. We had the defenseman. Oh, that's right. We had Hemsky. So it was Hemsky and Walford. And then we tried for the second-round pick. Our second-round pick. I could bump that up to somebody else's second-rounder. And we'll go for... they already got rid of their fifth. So how about your 5th next year and Buffalo's 7th? What do you say? I'm back again offering you the same deal. It's going to happen. Straight up? Damn it. All right, so here, let's swap out our second. Who's... damn it. Hold on, let me check Washington and Chicago. So Washington, 29, 23, and 4. They're about equal, really. So it wouldn't matter what pick we tacked on to the deal. Let's take a look. Again, Jay Bouwmeester trying to get this deal to work. St. Louis, though, being... I mean, stingy is a little bit harsh because it's fair. I understand not wanting to retain salary, but that's pretty much the only way you're going to move the Bouwmeester contract, which, I mean, again, is why I'm not giving them Brook. I'm giving them Walford and Hemsky. 2 players they don't necessarily want, because they are the ones that need to move Bouwmeester. They're the ones that have that problem right now, not us. So, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of their situation. Will that go through? Oh, damn it. What if we take off the 6th rounder? Not willing to retain the salary. All right, so again, we're giving up an NHL-ready player, if they need him, which they might if they trade Stastny. Defensive prospect, the 2nd rounder. What if we also give up our 5th round pick this year? What do you say to that? I'm still cool with this trade. I'm still cool with this. Still no. All right, let's try lowering it a little bit. We'll go 5% at a time. 45%. Still no. Again, 30 is the lowest I'm willing to go. 40%. Still no. 35. Yep, there we go. 35, not 36. And 30%. St. Louis, you are in severe danger of this not working out too well for you. Nope. All right. I'll talk to you again on deadline day, but that's not happening. That's not happening. I'm not going any lower than that because that contract could cause quite a few issues. Now, again, if we take a look at the standings, I'm mainly interested in the Islanders and the Canucks. The Islanders are back in a playoff spot, which I had a feeling could happen, which means as it stands, we're not going to be going for John Tavares because they're going to be in the playoff race by deadline day. So I'm not going after John Tavares, and we'll just have to hope that he is there in free agency. St. Louis, I mean, the Blues have battled back a little bit. They're not completely out of it. Nashville's completely out of it, though. Good Lord. As are the Red Wings. And then from the Pacific, you got Vegas, you got San Jose. San Jose is pretty far out of it. Edmonton's trying to get back into it. Joe Thornton could be an option. Joe Thornton could be an option. As far as the defensive improvements go, I'm not entirely sure. And really, I don't know. Again, with trading for Joe Thornton, I don't necessarily want to do so. Because that would mean, like I said, Danault, Hudon, or Lehkonen getting dropped to the fourth line once Plekanec is back. And that doesn't sound like the best idea. And I wouldn't want to get Joe Thornton to play him on the fourth line. So, I mean, I think our top 9 is pretty much set. Because we're going to keep Plekanec. So for the moment, we'll sim another week and we'll see if there are any other players that pop up as potential options. I mean, we are just under 2 weeks. We're 12 days away from the deadline. So let's go ahead and move forward. We lost 7-2 to Arizona. Well, that's promising. Can we at least beat Vegas? Yes, we can. Of course, we knew we didn't. We knew they didn't have the best record. We have a half-decent record still. We'll scout out German forwards for a week. No need to spend too much time there. Laval up to 35 wins on the season. We got a 3-2 win over Philly. Plekanec is again 100%, which is good news for us. Let's go best lines. Again, we're going to go with Plekanec on the top line. We'll drop Yager down to the second line with Galchenyuk and Drouin. We'll bump up Hemsky. We'll bump up Hudon. And we'll take out Hemsky for Lehkonen again. All right, and then again, the PK. I hate having to do this every time. But we got to do what we got to do to keep... we got to do what we got to do to keep Paul Byron happy on the fourth line. Again, former Portland Pirate. I got to keep Paul Byron happy. What a guy. What a guy. If you played for the Portland Pirates at one point formerly of the AHL, I'm a fan of yours for life. So, there's that. But let's take a look here. Have there been any more deals? And guys, from the looks of it, this might just be a trade deadline episode. A lot of people might be saying, like, man, what the hell's the matter with you? Just make progress. But slow and steady, man, in these first few seasons. And there have been more deals, and there's been a big deal from Columbus. We'll get to it in a second. Carl Gunnarsson, though, traded from St. Louis to Edmonton for a second, fifth, and Christopher. How did Carl Gunnarsson fetch a second rounder? That's why they're not willing to trade Jay Bouwmeester. A second, fifth, and Christopher for Gunnarsson, which means Bouwmeester's worth a first. The LA Kings acquire Scott Hartnell and Matt Irwin from Nashville for a third and a fifth. Not a bad bit of business there for LA. But then there's the big move. Chris Tanev and Thomas Vanek to Columbus for Cam Atkinson, a first and a third in the second-year draft, 2019. Holy hell. So, again, that's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, that's a really good deal for Vancouver. I mean, you get the upgrade on Vanek and Atkinson, and then you get a first-rounder to draft a defenseman to hopefully replace Tanev, and you get the extra third-round pick. That's a great deal for Vancouver, even though they were in a playoff spot the last time we checked. And then there's another big deal. Adam Henrique and a fourth straight up for a first-round pick. How? Like, I never would have guessed Adam Henrique was worth only a first-round pick. He is a second-line forward or a second-line center, but still, some huge deals going down. And then there was the Evander Kane deal. So again, Evander Kane, Henrique, Tanev, all on the move. Wow. That's pretty damn ridiculous. All right, let's see. Let's take a look again around the league to see who is on the block. And again, we'll look for teams that don't exactly have the best of records. And again, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I'm going to try to trade for David Krejci. Because again, could I probably trade for Torrey Krug? Yeah, but you're going to have to give up that much more, which really sucks when you look at someone like Jay Bouwmeester and the fact that we have to give up that much more to at least not have to retain salary. I mean, with Torrey Krug, we'd have to pay the full $5.2 million, and Torrey Krug was just an example. I know some Bruins fans are probably saying, get Torrey Krug, but you get the point. You get the point. Like, for example, from Buffalo. I mean, not that I'd want to necessarily go after Nathan Beaulieu. I mean, it could happen, but I don't know, man. Maybe we should. maybe we should just take a look. I mean, I wanted to stick specifically to the trade block to make it a little bit more difficult. Because having that free reign to just be like, oh, I'm going to go after David Savard right now, it's not necessarily cheap, but I don't know. I think you guys get what I'm saying in the way that I want to approach this. As Vanek's immediately on the block, Jack Johnson's on the block, and he has an expiring deal. Jack Johnson, I mean, say what you want about him. He would technically be an improvement. He might still be overrated by the game. But I'm willing to pay that for 1 year. Jack Johnson is actually a half-decent option. Calgary, not doing too great, but the only guy on the block is Bartkowski. And as far as potential trade options, they are out of picks for this draft, too. I mean, they always seem to trade Backlund, but he's not on the block. They have Brody. But again, it's just that little bit of extra value to make that deal difficult to complete. Sam Bennett's there, but we don't necessarily need him. Again, pretty much the only thing we need is defense. And I'm not going to go after Hamonic. So, right now, the top target is going to be Jack Johnson. Buffalo, I mean, could not Bogosian, no way. No way. Who else do we have here? I mean, again, Beaulieu, Bogosian, Scandella, no thank you. We'll look at Boston again with 29 wins. They ended up reacquiring Seidenberg. Yikes. Yikes. Again, they kept Seidenberg when they should have kept Boychuk, and then instead of reacquiring Boychuk, they reacquire Seidenberg. Great. All right, who else do we have here? Colorado, Ty Berry. Oh, Ty Berry would be a really good choice. Ty Berry would be a really good pickup. Talk about using the trading block to try and get somebody for cheap. Jack Johnson would be a nice rental. Tyson Berry would be a really good pickup for us. 3 years at 5.5. I think Barry is the new main target in here. I'm actually going to... I always have a piece of paper in front of me as I drop the pen. I always have a piece of paper in front of me to keep names down. Detroit, I mean, no. Nobody there. Edmonton, 29 wins. Do they have anybody? I mean, they are making trades to get better. I mean, no, not really. I mean, they did acquire Gunnarsson, but really it'd be someone like Darnell Nurse or Andre Sekera, and that's not going to happen. I'd rather get Barry. Florida. Demers, was it Pysyk or Pissick? Yandel, Matheson. I mean, Barry is still the target, no doubt. The LA Kings, who picked up some depth players. Alec Martinez is an option. 4 years at $4 million. I'd say that Martinez is an option as well, along with Barry. Jake Muzzin. I mean, Jake Muzzin has that little bit of extra value. 3 years, $4 million. To be honest, though, this might be the year to try and get Muzzin. The Minnesota Wild. I didn't even see their record. Nope, they're not going to want to trade. Let's talk to Nashville then, shall we? Ryan Ellis, PK Subban, Ellis and Ekholm. So Nashville, definitely. We have some contenders there, especially Ellis. 2 years at 2.5. That is an incredible contract. Like, that is an incredible contract, and I'd probably rather go after him than Muzzin. So right now I have Ellis, Barry, and Muzzin as our main targets here on defense. And then depth-wise, we'll probably keep Hemsky, and I think we're good. And we're just going to have the forwards be what they are. Justin Braun, 3 years at 3.8. That's also not too bad. I'll take a look around the league to see if we can get a cheap forward pickup. Again, Jay Bouwmeester's still there. Colton Parayko is there, but I'm not going to go after Parayko. Jay Bouwmeester. I'm going to pass on that, I think, at this point. I mean, damn it. You know what? I'll go for him one more time. Maybe. He's not even at the top of the list. He's not even at the top of the list for who I want to go for here. Toronto. Jake Gardner, Nikita Zaitsev. We'll pass there. Vancouver, they're decent. The Vegas Golden Knights are not. But they don't have anybody great as far as trade value goes. All right, so Barry, Muzzin, Ellis, Braun, or Bouwmeester. I'm going to take Justin Braun out of the equation pretty much immediately, unless there's a decent forward worth getting that's on the block. And I mean, Thornton's there. Yannick Hansen is there. I'm mainly thinking in terms of depth. Joel Ward is also there on an expiring deal. You know what? A Braun combo with one of those players might not be the worst. Again, though, as far as depth forwards go, who do we have right now? Hemsky is our main depth forward in case of injury. Aside from that, I mean, Martinson's the first call-up. Chris Terry, Torrey Mitchell. I mean, Peter Holland as well. We're pretty much okay, I think. I mean, granted, those aren't ideal call-ups, but I think we're okay. I don't think we're going to get any other forwards, which means Braun is out of the equation. Nashville, again, we have Ryan Ellis, Jake Muzzin, Tyson Barrie, and Jay Bouwmeester. Right, okay, well, again, because it involves... Muzzin, Bouwmeester, Ellis. I want to go for Bouwmeester just because he's going to be cheaper, but it's not necessarily going to work out that way. So, with Nashville, you have Ellis, who's worth... You could argue a first-round pick on his own. 2 years at $2.5 million. And again, the Preds aren't great this season. 20 points and minus 17. $2.5 million for Ryan Ellis. I don't think I can pass that up. Like, just the terms of that deal. Let's see here. Although I know some of you are going to know what I'm checking for. Ideally, it would be nice to get a lefty to help out with the power play. But I'm willing to take that Ellis deal. I'm willing to go after Ellis. I want to look at Tyson Barrie next, even over Jake Muzzin. Barrie's still high top four potential. He's not going to get any better. 3 years at 5.5. Again, a righty. 5 goals, 29 assists, but he's a minus 24. Good Lord, man. Jake Muzzin, even over Martinez. Muzzin's value, that's a little bit too much. Like, he's a solid defenseman to pick up. He is the lefty that we could really use, but to make that happen, we're talking about, I mean, nearly a guarantee of having to give up Sherback or Lehkonen. It'd probably Sherback. And Walford or Brook as well. So I don't know if I want to go for LA here. And then again, Jay Bouwmeester. You know what? I'm going to take Jay Bouwmeester out of the equation because we do have that need rather than getting a veteran rental. I mean, if you look right now, Juleson's going to be a while. I mean, all of our defensive prospects are far away. So we could use that extra defenseman right now. And it's just a matter of, do I want it to be Barrie, Muzzin, or Ellis? And I'm going to take a look at Tyson Barrie first. I mean, offensively, he's putting up some good numbers. That plus-minus is hot garbage, though. And then, yes, of course, we added Cale Makar. I got to go for Ryan Ellis first, just off of the cap situation. Like, that is such a good deal moving forward. Well, let's see if we can find a way to get Ryan Ellis here. But again, they don't want to trade him, which really sucks. So, because of that, I mean, Josh Brook is at risk here. I'm going to go with... I don't necessarily want to get rid of Will Bitton. I don't. I know especially, too, in real life, he did really well for the prospects. Yanni Ikonen, second-round pick, third-round pick for Will Bitton. But, I mean, you look at Will Bitton, he's a year older at the same overall. So, Brook, Bitton, 2 prospects. We're going to keep Hemsky. And we'll see if we can go draft picks the rest of the way. So, let's give up our own second. That won't go through. Correct. So, what if we give up our own second and our third? And for the hell of it, let me safety net it with a 6th rounder. Will that go through? Still no. All right, so we'll bump this up to Washington's 2nd rounder. And let's apply a 4th round pick to this just to kind of balance it out a little bit. Will that go through? Still no. Will it go through straight up? Still no. Now you could argue we'll just give up a 1st rounder for Ryan Ellis, but oh, damn it, I really don't want to. So a decent forward prospect, a decent defensive prospect, and what looks like a 1st round pick to get Ryan Ellis. And that's going to be the same price for Barrie as well. All right, well, you know what? We have to get a defenseman. I'm going to go try one more time for Jay Bouwmeester. If we can't get this to work, we'll give up our 1st round pick in effort to end up with probably Ellis. If we can't get that to work, we go for Ty Barrie. And to be honest, Jake Muzzin's a really good defenseman. I'm going to take him off the list, though, because his value is just that much higher. So, Bouwmeester. As again, my voice continues to give out, but we will make it through this. I'm going to go for Walford instead, again. And instead of Hemsky, we'll give up Bitten. Didn't want to, but we will. And again, that increases the value a little bit more than if we were to have Hemsky in the deal. What if I do a 3rd round pick? I just want to see it. It's not going to go through. Yeah, okay. So let's go for our 2nd rounder. Will that go through straight up? Still no. Because again, they don't want to retain salary. But instead of lowering the salary retention, let's give up a 3rd rounder as well. I'll even give up 2 2nd rounders. I don't want to take back salary. How about a 6th round pick to safety net? Will that go through? Still rejected. So what if we switch to Washington's 2nd? Still rejected. And what if we go my 4th round pick as well? Will that go through? Still rejected. I'm going to try the 3rd. I'm going to try the 3rd. I'm going to bump that 6th up to a 5th. What do you think, St. Louis? Still no. They just flat out don't want to retain salary. Damn it. Let's drop that down to 45%. Maybe, please. Still rejected. Let's go down to 40. Tyson Barrie or Ryan Ellis? That's who it's going to be. It's going to be Tyson Barrie or Ryan Ellis. And again, we're going to go after Ellis first because of the cap retention. We're going down to 30%. Moment of truth. I refuse to go to 25. All right. So, St. Louis, you are screwing yourselves out of assets here. Let's go talk to Nashville again. And indeed, if you haven't figured it out at this point, it's going to be a deadline day episode. So let's go with Brooke. Don't want to, but Brooke is going to be here. We're going to go with Bitten. We're going to go for our 2nd and Chicago's 2nd. That still won't go through, though, right? It's going to have to be a 1st rounder. Which, I mean, we're going to be a playoff team. Yeah, all right. It's going to have to be our 1st round pick. So our 1st round pick, Josh Brooke, who was... It sucks. Whenever you edit somebody, it shows them as undrafted now, but obviously a draft pick from the Habs in the 2017 draft. So Brooke, Bitten, and a 1st. We're going after Ryan Ellis here, and you know what? I'm going to try to get Carolina's 3rd back, even though it's not going to be that good of a pick. Still rejected. All right, let's try a 4th and a 6th. Just to safety net a little bit. Just the 4th? No. Okay. Probably being a bit too stingy, but you know what? Hey, I got to do what I got to do. How about a 5th and a 7th? Will that go through? How about just the 5th? Yikes. And it's saying it's still not sufficient at all, which means we're a bit of a ways away here, apparently. How about that? Still no? Straight up? Oh, the value's still too far off. I'm going to go offer the same exact deal for Barrie. And we'll see how close we are, because they might be a little bit more willing to play ball. Tyson Barrie. And let's safety net it with, say, a 6th round pick. Brooke, Bitten, and a 1st for Barrie and a 6th. Still no. How about straight up? Still no. All right, so we are just flat out a bit too far off. Now, Brooke is pretty much the best defensive prospect we can give up. I'm not giving up Paling. I could give up Ikonen as well, but man, that's a lot. Is there anybody else here I'm willing to give up? Audette's might still be decent. Daniel Carr, Reway. Freeberg, maybe? Freiberg? What do you say? I was hoping for the best. I mean, I can't go through this episode without getting a defenseman. It's been 40 some odd minutes. I can't go through this episode without getting a hold of a defenseman. But, again, like these teams, they play hardball. If they don't want to trade anybody, they play hardball. We might have to look back through again here. I mean, Jack Johnson isn't ideal. But at this point, it might be worth it. It might be worth going for Jack Johnson. And I would have to retain salary on Jack Johnson because it's a 1-year deal, unlike with the Bouwmeester deal where it's a 2-year. And you know what? I'm not even going to look to give up Walford. I'm going to look, because they're willing to take back one of these players, oddly enough. So I could go for even, say, a Redmond? Maybe? I mean, I'd like to give up one of these extra defensemen that are NHL ready. Streit's going to retire after this year. Alright, you know what? We'll still... I know he was just drafted in real life, but we'll look to give him up. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. And we'll also... Let's see, can I give up he and Freiberg? Now, how close is that? Freiberg? Will that go through? I just had to hope for the best. So, 2 not-so-good prospects and a third rounder for Jack Johnson? Still no. Okay, I'm being way too stingy. Way too stingy. All right, so let's go for... Again, I don't really want to give up Scott Walford. Davidson? Morrow? I mean, they're about equal, really. Davidson actually has a... I mean, they're both 1-year deals, too. Davidson, Morrow, Schlemko, Ben. Let's give up Jarrett, Tishka? I don't know. We'll look to give him up still. We will look to put De La Rose in this deal. And again, I'm going to go for that 3rd round pick. Again, I don't have to worry about retaining salary. 3rd round pick, maybe. Still not close. I'll go for the 2nd rounder. I'll go for our 2nd rounder, even though they don't want it, which is weird because they're not good. Try a 6th round pick. Still no. Really? Wow. Right. Okay, who do you want then? Help me. Help me. Paul Byron, Davidson, Hemschke. I mean, we'll give up Davidson. And I'll give up Redmond. Davidson and Redmond, 2 players that they want to help hopefully boost up the value. And that 3rd round pick that you want. What do you say? You sent this more than one guy for a single need. Alright, so we'll take out Redmond. Will that go through? Still no. Alright, was there a forward that they wanted that I'm willing to give up? That is my question. I am willing to give up Martinez. No doubt. Let's look at he and Torrey Mitchell. I mean, Martinson's overrated by the game for sure. I mean, really, it doesn't even matter. Torrey Mitchell's the better center. So we'll put Martinson onto this. Will that go through? Still no. Woefully insufficient, even though it's players you want. I never envisioned this episode being this long, by the way. Especially without really accomplishing anything. Alright, what if we also give up the 5th rounder? What do you say? A 3rd and a 5th, Davidson and Martinson for Jack Johnson. How is it not close? Look at the value bars. What the hell are you talking about? Not close. You are full of it. You are absolutely full of it. God damn. Let's go. I don't want to give up Schlemko, really. I mean, I could. And then Streit will be in the lineup instead. I really don't want to give up David Schlemko. And again, we have Davidson. Let's give up a Redmond too, for the hell of it, I guess. Just to try and get that value over the line. It's crazy to me that they don't want a second-round pick. Right. Okay, let's just throw in a random unsigned player. And we'll hope for the best. Pezzetta's medium bottom 6. We'll throw in Taishka, whatever the hell his name is. Will that go through? Not sufficient at all. This is, I mean, again, it's on hard trade difficulty, but this is ridiculous. Oh my god. I mean, I'm not even asking for salary retention. And I'm trying to use players that they actually want to boost up that value. And it's just not working. Alright, so we'll give up Bitten, even though I don't want to. We'll give up Bitten. We'll give up Davidson. And Martinson. We'll give up a decent prospect, a throwaway defenseman and forward. And to really make it worth your while, why the hell not? How about a nice shiny third-round pick? You bet your ass I'm going to look to get a 6th and a 7th next year back. I'm still cool with this. I mean, Bitten in a third is a little bit rough to give up, but it is a rental, and it might work out. Will that go through? Yes, it will. We had to give up more than I would have wanted to. To be honest, the third-round pick might not have even been necessary, but at this point, 45 minutes into the episode, we did what we had to do. And did we get the defenseman that I necessarily wanted? No. But Jack Johnson, at least in theory, is still an improvement on what we had already. So let's go best lines down in the AHL. Again, I'm going to have to sort all of that out. But at the NHL level, we can at least take a look at what we are going to be dealing with. So Hemsky is our depth forward currently on roster. And then defensively, we have Mark Streit there. So it's now Alzner, Weber, Johnson, Petrie, Ben, and Schlemko. So again, is it that massive improvement? No. But at least attribute-wise, Jack Johnson looks to be a decent rental for us. We'll see if that's actually the case. I will fix the AHL roster, and to be honest, I won't sim forward another day. It'll give you guys a chance to maybe make your input if you saw a deal I should probably go after. So you will have one last opportunity to say, hey, go for this deal, maybe explore this avenue. But at the moment we have acquired Jack Johnson. It took 45 plus minutes to get a damn defenseman. But at the very least, as we approach deadline day, we are currently on 76 points. We have 6 points on the Ottawa Senators. Things are looking good for us as we head towards the playoffs. So guys, if you made it through this episode, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Probably a bit more rambling and drawn out than it needed to be. I'm going to blame feeling a little bit sick for that. But again, I do thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the one trade in particular. Again, probably didn't need to give up Bitten and the third. But if we win the cup at the end of the year, it doesn't matter. So, fingers crossed for that, right? And we can forget all about how that trade might have been a bit too in favor of Columbus. Guys, again, though, that will do it. You know what you have to do to support the video and the channel, and any and all support is more than greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next episode, where I promise we will actually finish up the regular season. The playoffs will soon be here. It'll be like Christmas Day until we lose in the first round.